Hello everyone, welcome to another edition of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans inside Maui Comics and Collectibles. I am Aaron of the Rave Corner, and joining me, he's back once again, YouTube personality, the Blu-ray Whoreder. How you doing, Blue?
Good, man.
So today, him and I are going to have a conversation about a show that him and I are really into. It is Battlebots, ABC's relaunch of Season 2. And so, for those who don't know what Battlebots is, it's basically robots that are made from scratch, and they're basically made anywhere. They could be made in garages and actual science laboratories, like anywhere. And people from various backgrounds are capable of making what they want, and then just essentially bringing in their remote-controlled creations into an arena just to see whose robot happens to be on top of this tournament bracket. And so you got all kinds of primary weapons. You got full body spinners, you have spinning vertical discs, saw blades, pneumatic flippers, hammers, anything. And so right now, ABC relaunched Season 2, and we are already into the tournament. And by the time you see this episode at home, we're just about to wrap up everything, but we just want to get our points across to what is actually our favorite. So, Rob, what do you think about the show?
Well, you introduced me to the show.
Oh, yeah.
I watched it back, I think it was Comedy Central, back
Yes.
in the early 2000s.
Yeah. So
90s.
Battlebots actually did start back in 1999. They once filmed their first event in Long Beach, but then they had another event later on that year in the Las Vegas Sports Center, something like that, and that was on pay-per-view. Since then, they've been on Comedy Central all the way up until 2002. And then the show got canceled for more than a decade, and then they got picked up again just last year.
Yeah, so I missed Season 1 of the reboot. I'm caught up with Season 2. I kind of binge-watched it, so it's I like the fact that it's like a tournament style where it's bingeable, so you're always anticipating, oh, did this guy get upset or what? But I have my favorites.
Cool.
But we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so what's funny is that in Comedy Central's version of Battlebots, they didn't really dive too much into the background of each builder. They'll have the announcers probably throw out a few tidbits or added bits of information during the fight, but that's about it. In between battles, you would have these weird little vignettes of people doing something that's rather strange, to say the least, in a comedic spin. Of course, it is in Comedy Central after all. So, you probably remember this. Carlo Bertolini, the driver and builder of Biohazard, once said that he designed this little robot for his cat who lost his legs in a car accident. So it's like a cat peeking his head out from a box with wheels, and he's piloting the robot on his own. But of course, I think I heard there was probably nothing wrong with the cat. I'm not sure. You guys, if you know the answer, you can let me know if I'm wrong. But it was thrown in just for the sake of comedy, but I'm not sure how legit it was. But they had that, and all these other things like builders being a bit weird, a little too nerdy, but that could be far away from the truth. But
yeah,
what did you think of those vignettes from Comedy Central?
It's been a while since I watched the actual Comedy Central ones, but particularly speaking of Season 2, I think they try a lot to get the audience, it seems so kind of stage, fishy to me,
Well, yeah, what Rob's trying to say is for ABC's reboot, because it's a different network, they're going for a different angle. So now they're trying to add a little bit more drama into it by having each builder basically talk about their life and what their purpose is of this competition.
Just the entrance to the ring is some kind of,
They're selling a little bit of drama with a bit of
it's like
showmanship.
a wrestling entrance.
To be honest, I do appreciate that because the builder of Mobius, for people on the subreddit or let alone Facebook pages, there has been some people who didn't quite get it at all. Mobius's entrance of having cosplayers, and that one guy who's cosplaying as a vampire doing that guitar riff to lead the one guy.
Yes.
Kind of towing the coffin in, and you have that this priest guy with the Book of Mobius and things like that.
Yeah.
But that was their shtick back in Comedy Central. Like they wanted to stand out and make a memorable sort of memorable sort of thing for the audience to remember. That's why they wanted to like be the character as they put in the robot, which was why I enjoyed seeing them do that once again on ABC.
Yeah.
Stuff, but all the other builders, I will admit, it's a bit out of character. Like, for example, Derek Young, the driver of Complete Control. If you were to look at him back in Comedy Central, he dressed up like us. Very casual clothing. But now, since the ABC's relaunch, he has this whole team dressed up in the very snappy, sort of glittery blazer on, and then they did this little bit of a disco thing.
Okay, yeah, Disco Inferno, yeah.
Oh yeah, Disco Inferno too. Jason Bardis, he too just dressed very casually, but because he had to design a robot, Disco Inferno, which is a play on words, he had to dress up like John Travolta in Saturday Night Live, do the whole disco thing. But let's get down to our favorite robots. Is there a particular kind of robot that you love seeing perform?
The powerful ones that can toss them around. So
you love the flippers?
Yeah. Well, not necessarily the flippers, but the more it's like a turning thing that it hits you and it just blasts you away.
A spinner.
So yeah, like the
Tombstone.
Brazilian team.
Oh yeah, Minotaur. Yeah.
Tombstone. I see that as I see a weakness with Tombstone, in a sense. It's you can get it from behind. If you can position.
Wheels,
he's exposed in the back. So if you have something powerful that can break through, the box and avoid the blade, the front part, then I think you're fine.
Yeah. I gotta hand it over to Minotaur. Truth be told, ever since I saw the movie Role Models, that scene where they show up in that dazzled out big pickup truck into a Minotaur. So since then, I use that accent every time I see them on screen. So I say Minotaur, aw, that kind of stuff. But like when they came in, I will admit I was quick to underestimate them because from Comedy Central, which was more than 10 years ago back then, the whole thing about using a drum as a weapon, it was still brand new and it was still being tested out. But of course, it was very powerful, but it wasn't to the extent of Minotaur now.
Yeah.
So when I saw Minotaur show up, at first I thought they won't go far, but I didn't think that they would go this far. And sure enough, when I saw them actually perform against legit competitors, then I know they're the real deal, and I see them as a really strong candidate.
I mean, you gotta think, like, compared to some of the bigger ones, I mean, the thing is pretty small.
Yeah.
But it has power like 5 times the size of it could, like, toss across.
I was about to say, the
arena.
size of that robot looks very similar to middleweights, because there were middleweights back in the day who were drums performing just like that, but this one's different. But yeah, so my favorite robot is Beta, just because I'm a big fan of the builder, John Reed, and I just love to see a potent hammer like that actually make a name for robots of that subcategory, because it is a small group, and the reason why people don't do it so often is because it's such a complex thing to design, and it's not only the complexity of it, you have to design one that actually does damage, and there's been cases where somebody have made it, but it doesn't do as much damage as bad as maybe Beta or any other robots that have done it. So,
what do you feel about Farouk?
He's not bad.
Okay.
To be honest,
well, a lot of stuff he says is probably writers.
Oh yeah, it was fed to him.
It's silly, man.
You know what made me cringe is the entrance that he did for what was it, overhaul, right? Meow. That.
Yeah.
I was like, this is not you, Farouk.
cool.
This is not you.
That was crazy.
All right.
I laughed. I chuckled a bit, but
So at this point, I think we are about 2 episodes away. Like, we're filming this during the break of the Rio Olympics, and by the time this makes it, we've already completed the quarterfinals, and we should be wrapping up with the semifinals and finals. So we will be dated by at least a week by the time they see it. But here's what we have in the lineup. The one that will be coming out on August 25th is Tombstone versus Brutus. Brutus is the one with the golden spinning disc, and they did the little mock.
Oh, so originally when Brutus first with the guns, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like when he actually like shot.
Yeah.
I thought it was actually like bullets and stuff that
Oh,
tore
no. Yeah.
the other one apart.
They were fake rounds.
But yeah, they were fake rounds, and the holes from the other machine was actually the insides of itself.
Exactly. So what? Yeah. So again, back to Mobius. What happened was the company that shipped the robot damaged the parts.
Yeah.
So they had to fix it in order to get it ready for the tournament, but it wasn't working to its full potential. That's why you saw it go like way crazy.
Yeah, but it was great timing. It seemed.
I know.
Like before they started that right away.
I know that's
shot up.
Quite strange.
I was like, wow, if they allowed that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we got Tombstone versus Brutus. Next one will be Nightmare versus Beta. And I'm concerned for Beta because, Nightmare could easily tear through the polycarbonate body, the bulletproof stuff on the top. But if Beta could somehow get around Nightmare, if he were to like hit it from the side and get it to tilt where it's unstable, that could be an advantage, or just hit it in a critical part in the back. I think Beta has more maneuverability.
Yeah.
And the hammer is potent, but again, I feel for the robot itself. But hey, that's part of the game. If you're not prepared to have your robot get damaged, there's no point in you competing. And then we have Bite Force versus Chomp. So Bite Force is a returning champ from the last season, and it's going up against Chomp, whose hammer is damaging only if it's working correctly and if it's not on its side a lot.
Chomp is so clunky that it's they try to do a lot of modern stuff, like it self maneuvers itself by sensors.
Yes,
but to me that's not gonna go
I gotta give it a break. Well, it is very clunky, and there's no excuse for that. The problem they had is that they wanted to use magnetic wheels, but they changed the material in their metal floor so that the magnets don't work as well before. So that's why they had to stick to rubber wheels, and that's why you see it being on its side a lot. Very high center. And the same thing went for Beta. They wanted to use magnets, but it just couldn't work. I think they might use maybe a vacuum suction mechanism on the bottom. I don't know. And then we got Mega Tento versus Yeti, and I'm very sure you're pulling for the Alaskan guys on this one.
Yes.
It's a bigger drummer versus a smaller drummer, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so whoever... here's where it gets sketchy, though. Like, the winner of those two fights, they'll fight each other, and then they have to face the winners of the other bracket, which will be Bronco versus Minotaur, and then Bombshell versus Poison Arrow. So
Poison Arrow's lucky to be still in there.
You know what? I got a kick out of that robot because when they started to do cosmetic repairs, the builder, she took a black Sharpie and she just colored the whole frame black again. But yeah, Bombshell versus Poison Arrow. I think Bombshell may take it if they go with the horizontal spinner. We don't know yet. That one was awesome. They showed off the mechanics of the adjustable arm. Brilliant. Very brilliant. And then Bronco versus Minotaur, I'd say good luck to Bronco because that is not going to be easy.
Speaking of which, you remember Overlord?
A Walden Overlord.
Oh my god, what a waste of money.
Like, that
was set up. It didn't even work. His arm didn't even work.
You know the builder, Rob Knight, the guy with the glasses? He competed in Battlebots before, but now with a Walden Overlord. He had this robot called... I always remembered his name, but for this show, I suddenly had a brain fart. What was it called again? Mortis. It's called Mortis, and Mortis was a heavily armored tank on treads that had a sickle type of blade coming down with a hammer shaft. So it went, it had that constant hammering motion, and it also had a lifting arm that lifts up its opponent, but it also used as a self-righting mechanism. So that one was much more battle equipped. But he went with a Walden Overlord because he wanted to demonstrate what that robot can do, but he also wanted to open up a new subcategory of humanoid type of robot. So that was more like a demo.
It was pretty like
at the expense,
Steel, wanted to be real Steel. Where he controlled it himself. But
I considered
it didn't even work.
I considered it a demo, but at the expense of having it trash. So it's like demonstrating a crash test dummy, but it's up against a car that's gonna ram it.
It failed big time.
Yeah,
and probably the most expensive thing there. So I was just like, wow.
Yeah. Well, some people thought that the little strings were the ones that does the maneuverability, but actually those are more aesthetic. It's meant to represent the fibers in your muscle, so to speak. There were separate mechanisms that did it, little pulleys, but yeah. What a way to go down, though. So any predictions of the robots that are still in this thing? Which ones do you want to win?
Well, like I said,
any names that you want to throw out. So Minotaur is the one you want to win?
Minotaur, Bronco, and Yeti. I would say I would want them to advance their next round.
Nice.
I'm always for the underdog. I'm not saying Tombstone.
Right.
Tombstone has a right to be number one.
Right. He was a semifinalist last year.
And even now, anyone coming close to him is just getting pounded. He's barely getting any damage. But I think, like you said, he's susceptible to damage if you play it right.
Yes.
And that's why the last thing I'll end it on is I want to see more of a kind of battle royal type. Maybe they can have during the championship rounds, they can have some of the for consolation is just throw in
like a revenge match.
half a dozen of them that want a consolation prize and just throw them in and winner takes all. That's what I like seeing, is someone on its last limb survive just chaos, because when you get 6 in there, it's do we have a strategy of teaming up with another team to double team the most powerful one? That's what I would do. Just go after the
Battlebots have done rumbles before, especially during the Comedy Central era. I know that last year they did a match with, the biggest thing they had to a rumble was having Nightmare go up against Overhaul and Witch Doctor. So you can check that one out if you haven't. That one actually made it to air last year when they aired the finals as a filler. So that was perfect because
How many were in it?
Just 3 robots in one fight.
3.
Nightmare versus Overhaul and the Witch Doctor. Yeah. But I actually thought it was great for them to do that, because the day it was aired, it happened to be Jim Smentowski's birthday, and he's the builder of Nightmare. So that was a good birthday present for him to see his robot compete in that rumble. But this year, who knows? I think they did do some exhibition battles, even a few small time rumbles. I'm just speculating, but I have a feeling that they probably did. Hopefully, we will see one towards the season finale. But for me, my picks would be Beta, Tombstone, and Minotaur. As much as Bite Force did well last year, they had a different set of weapon and a different set of chassis and a different set of design. This time, I don't think their spinning weapon and their new direction is gonna last that far. So yeah, let's just wrap it up here with the random question of the day, and we're gonna have Swan join us for this one. Swan, let's. So this one is a submission from Wimplo86. He wants to know, what is our favorite movie weapon? Swan, what's yours?
I would just like to say thank you for letting me out of the closet and joining the show.
Well, you had to be disciplined for all the excessive trolling that you did in the last season.
Spoiler, there's some more. I don't know. That's actually a good question. So can it be from any movie? Is it a strict one? Ooh, that's actually fun. Oh man, I would have to say the Gatling gun from Van Helsing.
Hey,
Or
that's
the crossbow. The crossbow from Van Helsing.
Cool.
Like,
Are we talking about
cool.
the Van Helsing starring Hugh Jackman?
Yes.
Yeah, that's
Yes.
cool.
Was there one before that?
Not that I
Besides
know
Monster
of.
Squad's one?
Not that I know
Okay.
of. There probably is, but I
There
haven't
probably
seen it yet.
is,
I'm
but-
sorry. That's
Okay,
cool.
That's my weapon.
Rob? I mean,
So-
Blu-ray Whoreder?
So mine is from Fifth Element, Gary Oldman's
that's actually-
the Zorg gun.
Oh, yeah.
Are you sure not Chris Tucker's microphone?
And his the only way he could project the signals was through the wand that he had.
Yes.
Oh, but it's a handheld gun that has a rocket launcher, it has
I
a
remember
machine
that.
gun,
That was actually-
flamethrower,
And the
a
pins.
freeze ray.
It had those pin darts shooting at you too.
That's very nice. All right, Aaron, is it Starship Troopers?
No, mine's I'm gonna go dip into the Kung Fu universe. Kung Fu Hustle. You guys seen the harpists?
Yeah!
And the instrument
Yeah.
they did, the Deadly Melody. I love that.
Yeah.
My favorite scene out of the whole movie, and I watched it so many times.
Okay, that's the one scene I always have to restart because it's just so
It's
damn
awesome.
good. It makes you wish they made it to the final fight, doesn't it?
Yeah, like if you don't know, the harpists are two assassins, and one of them plays. Well, actually, both of them.
Well, one frets,
can
the
play.
other like hits the strings, and they send Shadow Warriors, I believe, right? Or
Yeah,
weapons.
Shadow Warriors. These like they control their chi so that they throw out these invisible piercing swords that go at you, and then the biggest chi that they can muster up, their biggest attack is the warriors that they
Yeah.
hold in.
Man, that was such a great scene, and it made me so freaking sad that
It's a great movie.
Yeah.
I gotta say that was way better than Shaolin Soccer.
Oh yeah, I'd have to agree.
You
I
have to
love
agree on
Shaolin
that?
Soccer, but I love Kung Fu Hustle a little bit more.
Yeah, man, it was one of those timeless things for me.
All right, so let's wrap it up here. Big thanks to Maui Comics and Collectibles. Follow the store on Facebook and Instagram at Maui Comics. If you love this episode and would love to see more of Tuesday Morning Shenanigans in the future, like, subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, or if you do have a random question that you would love to see us answer next time around, leave it in the comment section. We will get to it. Also, check out Blu-ray Whoreder's YouTube channel, youtube.com/Blu-ray Whoreder, where he does all kinds of cool videos. You still doing your collection haul of the day?
I haven't been buying much Blu-rays, but
Okay.
one thing for sure
Are you
catch
doing?
the last episode of the Streaming Retro.
Have you done your? I'm sorry. Go on. I'm so excited.
Wait, do you mean the real last episode?
It's the real last
Oh, no.
episode. We're just gonna. It's not gonna be topic related. We're just gonna do a bunch of trivia. We're just gonna have
So it's a
bunch.
free form, pretty much.
Yes, we're
Okay.
just gonna have like everyone who was a guest on, if they can attend. We're just gonna talk story,
Wow, that's
play
gonna.
games, play trivia.
Google Plus will just have. I mean, Google Hangouts. Will
So
have-
you're invited.
We're gonna shut down the servers with everyone on board.
You were on too, bro.
Yeah.
All right.
Killer Cow is right behind the camera. So check out Friday Night Frights. It's on one new episode on YouTube every Saturdays, and you can check him on Akaku Channel 55 at midnights.
What day does it air?
It's Saturday at midnight.
Okay. Saturday at midnight, and they're called Friday.
Clock
night.
at midnight on Saturday though.
Okay, that makes sense.
We're waiting on Friday nights, but we will catch it on the midnight at that Friday, which turns.
on the radio.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that though. It's kind of anti-establishment. It's really punk though. I would like to plug in Nerdwatch. Follow us at the Nerdwatch Nation. Our episodes come every Tuesday night at 8, and catch us live on iTunes, Facebook Live, and as well Akaku from 7 to 8. Also, if you want to follow me, follow the hashtag Encounters of the Nerd Time. Our page and YouTube channel is going to be up and running soon. I promise. Sorry for the delay, people.
And also for regular reviews and more, check out the Rave Corner. It is myfavorite.blogspot.com. So I'm going to wrap it up now by saying thank you for checking us out. We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, guys.